It is 7:03 on Election Day, Tuesday, November 4th. We're at 48 degrees. Look for highs later in the low to upper 60s and partly cloudy skies. Good morning. I'm Michelle Basch.
And I'm John Domen, and our top story here at this hour. It's the breaking news you just heard on CBS. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has died. A statement from his family says the 46th Vice President died last night due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. He was 84 years old. The statement says that Lynn Cheney, his wife of 61 years, was with him when he died, as was his daughters Liz and Mary and other family members. Cheney battled cardiovascular disease for much of his adult life. He survived a series of heart attacks and then had a heart transplant in 2012 that he called the gift of life itself. Again, former Vice President Dick Cheney has died. We're going to have more on this coming up here on WTOP.
On this election day, the polls are now open in Virginia, and they will stay open until 7 tonight. The main event in the Commonwealth is the race for governor, pitting the current Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears against Democratic former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. WTOP's Luke Lukert joins us live now. He is in Fairfax County at a polling site there. Luke?
Yeah, John and Michelle, I'm here at the Fairfax County Government Center on this chilly morning, and it's slow going in the first hour of voting. Seeing a couple of people filing in, but as Virginia has such a long period of early voting, we may not see any long lines for this election. As we have said, statewide races are front of mind this year. The race for governor here in the Commonwealth has pitted the current Republican Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Earl-Sears, against Democratic former U.S. Rep. Abigail Spanberger. Polls opened at 6 a.m. for an election to decide the state's next governor. And according to polling, Spanberger is favored in that race. Either way, Virginia is going to have its first woman as governor. But according to polling, we could also see a split administration. Incumbent Republican Attorney General Jason Miyares is leading that race against Democratic nominee Jay Jones after texts from Jones surfaced in which he hypothesized about shooting a political rival. We'll bring you more on what voters are thinking here in Fairfax County a little bit later this morning. Reporting live in Fairfax County, Luke Lukert, WTOP News.
Now, both candidates for governor made their final campaign stops ahead of today's election. Democrat Abigail Spanberger greeting volunteers on her bus tour across Northern Virginia and the greater Richmond area. WAVY-TV was at an event in Chesterfield.
We need a governor with a plan to stand up for Virginia, and we need a governor with a plan to see us through this time of chaos and challenge.
While Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears threw some jabs at her opponent during a final rally in Manassas.
Politically cunning is this woman. She has failed us. We cannot have her. Abigail is for Abigail. Abigail is not for Virginia. And so I hope you will elect me again as governor. I will not fail you.
President Trump spoke during a tele-rally hosted by current Governor Glenn Youngkin yesterday. He did not mention Earl-Sears by name, instead urging supporters to just vote for the entire GOP ticket.
In Maryland, polls have just opened this hour, and voters are choosing mayors in Annapolis, Frederick, and Gaithersburg. In Annapolis, the race is between Republican Bob O'Shea and Democrat Jared Littman. In Frederick, it's incumbent Democrat Michael O'Connor against Republican challenger Tom Trott. And in Gaithersburg, voters are picking between incumbent Jed Ashman and challenger Tiffany Kelly. The polls in Maryland will close at 8 tonight. Stay here with WTOP and WTOP.com for election coverage today, tonight, and tomorrow morning.
And new this morning, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is taking a step toward redistricting his state. He announced a new Governor's Redistricting Advisory Commission today to review and improve the state's congressional maps. It is a bipartisan panel, and it will hold public hearings, gather community input, and recommend updates to ensure fair and representative districts. This 5-member commission will be chaired by Senator Angela Alsobrooks. The governor saying that the goal is transparency and fairness, and he calls the effort a commitment to ensure the people are heard. Senator Alsobrooks added that Maryland deserves a fair map that reflects the will of the people, and she says, quote, "We have a Republican Party that's trying to rig the rules in response to their terrible polling," end quote. Texas has already passed legislation that would redistrict that state in favor of Republicans. Other states, including California, are looking at similar moves as well.
Coming up on WTOP in Money News.
Making your way in the business world with an assist from Taylor Swift. I'm Brendan Hazelton.
Traffic and weather for you in 30 seconds.